Hello and welcome to Queer News Tonight. This is the world's first and only LGBTQ+ daily evening television news, broadcasting live and available on demand on all smart televisions including Roku, Apple TV, Android TV, Amazon Fire TV, Twitch, YouTube, and Facebook. It's time to queer up the news. It is Wednesday, November 1st, 2023. We are live and literally out of the closet and into the headlines. So many of your important stories we are going to tell this evening on Queer News Tonight.
This is the world's first live daily LGBTQ evening news show, literally out of the closet and into the headlines on Queer News Tonight with Al Ferguson.
I'm Out South Florida senior reporter John Hayden. This evening we bring you the news of and perspective representing the LGBTQ+ community from South Florida, America, and across our planet.
This is the world's first and only unedited live LGBTQ+ evening news show. Whatever happens unique in LGBTQ+ news, you will see it and hear it.
Hotspots Magazine, Happening Out Television Network, is a nonprofit 501c3 media company in the same model of PBS and NPR, but designed for the LGBTQ+ community. Our mission is to support the 10 pillars of our LGBTQ+ community. We want to inform and educate the key issues of our Black community, Latino, lesbians and queer women, trans, students, youth, seniors, HIV/AIDS, healthcare, business, social justice, and faith. Help us support our community.
We are part of one of the largest LGBTQ+ media companies in America, Hotspots Magazine and Happening Out Television Network.
Our magazine is celebrating 38 years of the LGBTQ+ experience, and our television news, talk, and entertainment shows support our mission to educate the LGBTQ+ and broader community.
Let's meet tonight's panel, and we begin with Bad Poppy, a Latina gender-fluid drag artist redefining what it means to be trans and non-binary in the Latin community. Bad Poppy is also the executive director of Reflect Collective, a nonprofit serving QTPOC survivors of sexual and domestic violence. Bad Poppy is an icon in the Latin LGBTQ+ community and will forever be the baddest poppy in town. Welcome.
Thank you. So just wanted to put it out there that Gender Chill is going to be November 17th at 7 p.m. It's going to be a fantastic show. We're going to have all queer fashion models coming out, doing the catwalk, showing off their fashion, and it's just going to be a wonderful event. So please come out, support.
And where is it?
It's in BBC campus at FIU. So join us there, 7 p.m., November 17th.
Right. You can also find more details in the Gay Agenda on the Happening Out website. Up next is Mark Pettit, a pioneering traveler who coordinated the very first gay pride parade on the continent of Antarctica. He is also a former Mr. Sawmill Leather Sir. He and his husband Luke run Links by Luke, the chainmail, harness, and pride accessory shop. And yes, he is modeling the merch on the show tonight.
I'm always doing a little bit of promotion for my baby, for Links by Luke. Yeah, we're going to be at Wilton Art Walk, November 18th. It's Art Walk is the third Saturday of every month. All local artisans who bring their wares down and have a little tent set up. So we'll be right outside of apartment 9F. And that's, again, the 18th at 6 p.m. if you want to come out and see us.
And if you stop in, see them, pop into 9F, have a cocktail, or any of the places up and down the drive. It really is always a fun event. But we're finally at the time of year when it's okay to be walking outside and not going, oh my God, I'm going to die.
Without a parasol?
Without my parasol, yeah.
So you can start leaving that behind, John.
Yeah. Oh. Old habits die hard, though. Is there a doctor in the house? Hey. Why, yes, there is. Dr. Ty Hauser is a professor of English and Humanities at Broward College and teaches in the College of Business at FAU. He has served as visiting professor at colleges in Bolivia, Brazil, China, India, and Spain. Ty owns Linden Bridge, LLC, an educational experience company. Good evening and welcome back, Ty.
Hey, John, it's nice to be here with you at the helm.
It is fun.
Just don't fly us into the ground.
Wait, don't? Let me make a note of that. Okay. Finally, let's say hi to Jacob Reed Jennings, a professional ballroom and Latin dancer turned real estate broker and philanthropist. Jacob leads the Sherlock Holmes Foundation, a nonprofit 501c3 addressing LGBTQ+ and youth housing insecurity. Welcome, Jacob.
Why, hello, John. It's good to see you again. How are you?
Oh my gosh, so much has happened since the last time we talked.
I know. Your hair looks great.
Thank you.
And if you'd like to learn more about how you can get involved with Sherlock's Homes, go to sherlockshomes.org. That is SHERLOCKSHOMES.org. Get involved. Let's make a difference.
At least some of us aren't killing the ozone with hairspray every time we comb our hair.
Well, bitter looks good on you, honey.
We are the reporters for Queer News Tonight. And this evening, we begin with the queer headlines. The LGBTQ plus community in South Florida and across America is diverse. Our community around the world is vast. These are the bullet points of the queer news for today, Wednesday, November 1st. And we begin by queering up out South Florida. Wicked Manters, a hauntingly good time. Alcoholic beverages weren't the only spirits haunting the drive on Halloween. Wicked Manners, a major fundraiser for the Pride Center, went off without a hitch. People were in their most creative costumes and floated like ghosts up and down the drive. Here's a look at some of the highlights.
It was spooky, it was creepy, and it was definitely drinky. Wicked Manners was the stuff dreams are made of, or, in this case, your worst nightmare. The main stage hosted one contest after another for the coolest costumes, while the Synergy Twins did their thing from the roof of Pub on the Drive. As far as cool costumes go, this panda got a little overheated. But hey, at least we found Waldo.
Okay, so you're a panda. I didn't think pandas drank water. Oh yeah, I need bamboo. Oh, bamboo, that's koala bears. I'm thinking of koalas. No, pandas drink bamboo. You need bamboo.
The party haunted the entire drive. The Manor Complex had its own amazing LED stage down the street, as did other bars. Near the main intersection, Hunter's was packed. While there were plenty of cool costumes, one person got political and put his whole peninsula on display.
Pornography in Tallahassee and they fired people. You didn't hear that?
Oh, I did, yeah.
All right, so I thought, I'm going to put Florida in front of it.
I like that guy. But no, it was a very valid and on-point political protest to come out, because remember, drag queens are still being scrutinized with every possible little shake or whatever. But this guy, by all standards of the law in Florida that's currently on hold, that is just fine. So I really appreciate that. The Pride Center did have a great night. I talked to Robert Brew this morning. They said that they are thrilled. They had about 30,000 people come through the gates last night. Amazing. So that was great. There was a huge stage outside of Alibi, and as you saw at Manor Complex, Hunters had a big LED stage, and our good friend and incredibly talented DJ Will Calder was spinning. So really, it's cliche, but a good time was had by all.
I mean, gays know how to do Halloween the best. Let me tell you, that holiday was made for us.
It really was.
I was a bad gay. I held class and made them all come.
Oh.
Ooh.
Well, in what way?
That's too easy.
Two class. Two class.
Not nearly as fun.
They've all come to class. So I missed it entirely. Next year will not.
I can see why you're a guest professor and they'll have tenure.
I do have tenure, actually. You're welcome.
Well, as you say, I am a witch. It's wonderful.
Next, let's clear up the worldview. Queer News Tonight, historic live broadcast, Ephesus, Turkey on Monday, November 13th. Queer News Tonight works every day with the sole objective of keeping you up to date with the LGBTQ plus news from South Florida, America, and across the world. We're going to report live for 11 days while traveling through Europe, Africa, and the Middle East. To share the fun we're having on the cruise, we're doing a live broadcast from the beautiful biblical era ruins of Ephesus, Turkey on Monday, November 13th. We're bringing you the top news from the LGBTQ plus community, no matter where we are, including from some of the world's most historic locations. So those of us who are here in the studio, we should share with you guys and the people at home a little bit of the workings of Happening Out. Is that whenever we have a trip like this, they leave the most valuable talent behind.
That's right.
So just in case there is an international incident while everybody is out, they know like the show can go on.
Al is the first one to leave.
No,
Now,
I am
now
so
we know why we weren't invited.
yes, just so you have the explanation.
Yeah, we do make some fun because they're going to safe places. They're not going to anywhere in Israel. There were originally stops planned for Israel, but those stops did have to be canceled. And I believe they also changed the port that they're going to attend in Egypt. So they are putting safety first. We want to make this clear. We do not want anyone, Faye, Al, whomever is on the trip, to come into harm's way.
Yes, that was a joke. Nobody.
Okay, well, in these times, crazy times make for crazy people. So so everybody knows. Yeah.
I am jealous of the agenda, but I am glued to Faye and Al's social media until they get back.
Oh, absolutely. And gays are all over the world, let me tell you. So I'm so glad that y'all are basically like elevating their voice, across the globe.
Yeah, this is it's a very important platform that we're having because, again, a lot of places in the world don't like queers. They don't like a free media. And those two are converging on many parts of that world. So I can't wait to see your stuff. Guys, stay safe. Have fun.
Have
We
fun.
love you.
Yeah.
Next, let's queer up the worldview. Activist group The Dyke Project places messages from Palestine across London's public transit. A group of lesbian activists has replaced ads on public transport across London with stories of LGBTQ plus people in Palestine. The Dyke Project, a group of trans, cis, and non-binary lesbians and queers of all persuasions, targeted transport for London's network as a part of a call for an end to the Israel-Hamas conflict. Posters telling moving stories were put up on the Victoria line and the London Overground. The posters feature testimonies from Queering the Map, a community-generated digital map of queer experiences, and are accompanied by a message of solidarity. Stories include the message from people in Palestine, such as, "We are here and we are queer." Jess Elliott from the Dyke Project said the hack aims to remind the community that none of its members are free until all of us are free. The posters put up near popular gay venues remain on display. The Dyke Project was formed to oppose narratives that pit trans people and lesbians against one another. So I actually checked out the site and I thought it was amazing, honestly. I thought it was so impressionable. I actually almost cried reading like so many messages from queer Palestinian people. I actually have like a message here. I've always imagined you and me sitting out in the sun, hand in hand, free at last. We spoke of all the places we would go to if we could. Yet you are gone. If I had known that the bombs raining down on us would take you away from me, I would have gladly told the world how I adored you more than anything. I'm sorry I was a coward. That is just so deep, so profound, and so moving to me. And it just really humanizes, queer Palestinians, because a lot of times in the news, we don't even, they don't even have a face. We don't even know that they exist, but they do, and they're suffering.
Yeah. And the London Underground, of course, is a great place to get a message out. Millions of people go through and see those signs every day. But it's also a reminder that when anything happens in the globe, when anything happens around the world, it's also happening to queer people.
Absolutely.
And that is a really important message to get out there.
Absolutely. Yeah. It's just so moving, honestly. I'm literally about in tears, reading these messages, but,
I remember almost 2 years ago now, it took about this long from the start of the Ukraine conflict to really start to hear the queer stories. Once LGBTQ started making it across the border into Hungary and primarily Poland, that we've got to start hearing their stories. And let's make no doubt about this. Palestinian queers, as all Palestinians, they are victims of Hamas as well. They have sitting there suffering for the acts of others. Hamas is a terrorist organization that carried out terrorist attacks on Israel. Of that, there can be no doubt. But we cannot lump everyone in there together. Just as we can't say that all people of Afghanistan were for the Taliban. No, very, very, very few people of them were. The same for Pakistan. The same for so many countries. Palestinians are victims. We stand with our queer brothers and sisters. We pray for your safety.
And next, we're going to queer up business. LGBTQ plus influencers flee X, claiming Elon Musk has made it toxic. A year after billionaire entrepreneur Elon Musk bought Twitter for $44 billion, some LGBTQ plus people say the once hospitable home for community building has turned toxic. Monica Rose, a transgender person in Toronto, joined Twitter in 2008 when the platform felt like a friendly group of people. But Rose, like so many LGBTQ+, saw those feelings change after Musk took it over. He reinstated accounts previous management had suspended, often for anti-LGBTQ+ harassment. He laid off employees who worked on reducing abuse, such as misinformation and harassment. Then, Musk shared an anti-trans video, propelling it to more than 190 million views. Reports of abuse, which would have previously violated its policy against hate speech, received responses saying there was no violation, and the accounts would remain active. Eventually, Rose, like many LGBTQ+ people, have also abandoned the platform. I think we all kind of predicted that when he took over and changed it to X, it was dead. I don't think anything happened.
That now he wants to make it X'd out.
Yeah, and now he wants to make it a dating site. Like what?
And a bank.
And a bank. And
everybody's going to Threads. I'm going to Threads.
Are they though?
I think they are.
She doesn't mean you're close.
Well, that doesn't mean...
Who's she? Me? I'm a he.
No. I'm sorry. I wasn't misgendering you. I was being campy.
That's the way I got it. Here, let me get that shovel for you. 1 second. Yeah. Mm-hmm. I think it's interesting. The thing I find really sad is that Elon Musk has a trans child.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's if they're estranged. I wonder why. Can you imagine having him as a father?
Can you imagine him being such a bad father that you're willing to eschew a multi-billion-dollar inheritance?
No.
Because you can't tolerate him in life?
Imagine this, having Elon Musk as your father.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. He was so bad that his daughter is saying, I don't want anything to do with you. I don't need the money later in life.
No, absolutely.
No, just keep it.
Yeah.
Technically, Elon's broke. He puts all his money into his businesses and borrows money to pay rent.
Oh, it sounds like he could be president of the U.S.
I'm happy to see people, though, stepping away from any kind of platform where you are not recognized and respected. And even if there's not a ton of people on Threads, great, then let's build that momentum towards it. We do need that space for kind of open discussion. But I mean, in my opinion, Twitter/X has really kind of always been built on a basis of arguments and bickering. It's just now, I think, becoming particularly nasty towards us, and we've got to find better places to recharge our batteries than somewhere where we're attacked and not respected.
Yeah. Well, and to your point, of course, we say it because we all are out in the community. We are able to get out and be a part of society. So it's easy for us to say social media should never be a place you go for acceptance and visibility and things like that. But a lot of people can't. A lot of people aren't able to get out into the world, don't want to go out.
I mean,
the world.
I can literally attest as a trans person, there's so many trans people out there that are scared to go out.
Sure.
They literally, they find their communities in these, social platforms. In fact, my girlfriend, she's a transgender woman. The only place that she's found other trans people is through online, because in India, it's not a thing.
Right.
So
we have to be supportive. Here's an idea. Just next time you go on social media, just don't be mean. I'm not asking you to be nice. I know that is not in a lot of people's DNA. I'm just saying, don't be mean. If you're just not mean to people, you're halfway home.
I just don't understand. We live in Florida. We're not leaving, we're staying and we're fighting. That's why I'm like, well, if we all leave X, that means we are not speaking up for ourselves, and it's just going to be a bigger platform for people who want to speak out against us, and no one's there to defend it.
Yeah, but geography is a little bit different, because we vote here, and those votes have an outcome on our politics and legislation and things like that. When you're switching social media platforms, all you're really doing is moving your dollar, moving the economic impact that you would have. So I do see it as a little bit of a different situation. I'd be much quicker to switch a social media platform than I would be to pick up where I live and change that.
That's why we were waiting for you to get rid of your MySpace.
To that point.
I blocked you.
MySpace, which was fabulous. Tom, call me. But that was, usurped and passed by Facebook, and then there came Twitter and Instagram and Facebook, but Instagram, but all this stuff. But MySpace tried to reinvent itself as a music platform. Justin Timberlake bought it, and
Bless their hearts.
it just didn't work out. So whatever Twitter's fate may be, it's probably going to end up just competing against Truth Social, and to see who can sell more pillows.
Yes.
Yes.
Unfortunately, you're correct.
That's the dollar that's up for grabs. Follow me on Instagram at John Hayden Journalist.
Next, let's queer up gay culture. Residents are concerned about living above the new Club Q. People in Colorado Springs say they're concerned about plans for a local nightclub to move into their building. Club Q plans to reopen as The Q at the Satellite Hotel, and construction is already underway. However, there are dozens of apartments on the upper floors, and the residents are concerned about the noise and safety. The LGBTQ plus bar is relocating after the original location was the scene of a mass murder and shooting. Club Q's Vice President Michael Anderson said the new venue will be more of a lounge, calling it a safe space to fill the hole left in the LGBTQ plus community after the shooting. However, Barbara Williams, who lived in the building for years, says she supports the LGBTQ plus community, but has security concerns with people coming and going, and wants to save her right to privacy and peace, which she fears will be disrupted by putting a club in the building. Williams and some other residents are happy to see the club reopen, just not in the apartment building. Anderson says he's addressing concerns and remains on track to open by the end of the year. Club Q was the very first bar that held a fundraiser for our organization in Colorado Springs.
Really?
And yes, I do know. I know Michael and Anyway, first of all, a couple things I want to mention. The bottom of that apartment building is set up to be retail. So no matter what, it's going to be open to commercial business. The actual building has its own security, so therefore, you should be fine as a resident. It's going to be opened up as a lounge, not a club, so your noise and peace and tranquility should be the same as if you had a restaurant that was open until 11 o'clock at night. And frankly, this NIMBY problem of not in my backyard is a pain in my assets. Listen, you are not that entitled, Karen, and all the rest of you that live there. Colorado Springs, I will tell you, has been one of the closest, tightest-knit communities I've had the pleasure of being a part of here in the United States, and I think they are so brave and bold. I'm so glad that they are not cowering and that they are opening this lounge to be a safe space. And Michael, we are cheering you on. Keep it up, and do not let these understandably concerned citizens freak any of you out from going and supporting that incredible bar. Thank you.
Barbara, who apparently does not know a single realtor or gay person, or perhaps either. Do you think gay people are going to start to come to the building and the values of it going to go down?
Yeah, we typically make neighborhoods so much worse, don't we?
When the average rent in your building is currently $1,300 a month, you think we're going to knock that down? Keep your mouth shut. If you own something in that building, you probably just made a whole lot of money.
Seriously.
One thing I'd like to point out, I see both sides of this to a certain extent. I absolutely agree with you on like 98%. I will say that I'm a former condo owner, and I understand that you don't for the same reason we didn't tend to approve Airbnbs, because we wanted to know the people who were coming in and out. I get it. That said, I believe this is an apartment complex, not...
It's apartments.
It's a mixed-use building, but are they apartments or do they own the condos? Because it makes
both.
Okay, because if it's just an apartment, then, if you feel uncomfortable, you need to find a new place to live. If you're a condo owner, work with your board. Talk about who is going to be allowed, what types of businesses are going to be allowed on the bottom floor. But when Club Q came in, that was allowed. So there's no grandfathering them out whatsoever. They're absolutely have to come in. I respect safety. I know we all want to be able to know our neighbors, but retail on the ground floor, to Jacob's point, is not new. This isn't something they started because the club wanted to come in there. It's been retail space. So again, NIMBYs, sorry, you're out of luck on this one.
If it were a straight jazz bar, would they have a problem? I mean...
No, but the gays might.
Hell no, we won't go.
And kudos to the survivors for making this club and being so resilient for restarting this establishment.
They are a badass community over there. They really are. They don't get nearly enough credit. They're amazing.
Well, next we are proud of our special partnership with Sunshine Cathedral, the world's largest queer church here in Fort Lauderdale. Supporting that partnership, we are broadcasting from our permanent set here at Sunshine Cathedral at the Happening Out television studios. We broadcast Sunshine Cathedral's Sunday International Service at 10:30 a.m.
And that is the news for the LGBTQ. That is today's news for the LGBTQ plus community on the world's first and only LGBTQ evening news show.
If our community is important to you, share this news with your friends and family. Are you, like most of America, part of our very large television audience watching this live LGBTQ plus news broadcast right now on Roku, Apple TV, Andrew TV, and Amazon Fire TV?
Queer News Tonight is the only live LGBTQ plus digital television show in the world that is out of the closet and into the headlines. We need your support. If our community is to grow, we must tell our stories and bring them to the attention of the broader world.
This is the only place in the world that tells these types of LGBTQ plus stories in motion and in sound. That is the passion of Hotspots Magazine, Happening Out Television Network, and Queer News Tonight.
I'm John Hayden, and on behalf of these LGBTQ plus reporters, the anchors of Queer News Tonight, including Bad Poppy, Mark Pettit, Jacob Reed-Jennings, and Dr. Ty Hauser. We will see you daily at 8 p.m. And to our LGBTQ plus world, we wish you a very
good
night.